All right, welcome back. So last time we did the whole document version upgrade feature. So basically now we have a whole framework basically of updating, like a dependency action system, and upgrading that's sort of built into the upgrade system to sort of, well, turn one type into another type, basically, is what it's doing. So yeah, that we'll see how well that will work in the future, and if we are gonna keep going with that or if we're gonna do something else, but we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, and then we also started to work on the auto expand feature when editing a tile map. So whenever you draw onto a tile map, you have a boundary of that tile map. The tile map has a specific size, but now I'm wanted to have a feature that automatically expands the tile map depending on where you draw. So you can draw outside of the boundary and it will automatically fit to that boundary. So yeah, so we have right now taken care of the case where we only need to change the size of the tile map, where you expand like in a positive direction. But if you expand to a negative direction, then we have to not only calculate the new size and set that, but we also have to move the tiles that already exist. So yeah, so that's the next step. And also another thing is that there will be, like, if you start to draw and you whenever you change the size of the tile map, the scene that is connected to that tile map, or the scene that is using the tile map, will also change size. So, or well, the tile map kind of doesn't really change its position. Its position is always like 0, 0 in the middle. But when it changes the size, then basically all the other entities that are they are sort of should be like relative basically to the tile map, really. But since you're changing the size, then that doesn't really match up anymore. So yeah, so for example, if you double the height of the tile map, then the center of the tile map is no longer, in the same position. It's gonna move down to the bottom of the tile map, so, or to the bottom of the previous size, and yeah, and everything will get screwed up in the scene. So we have to think about how to solve that. If we wanna, we probably wanna move all the entities to match the new position in the new, yeah, for the new thing, because the tile map is always going to be like at 0, 0. So we probably need to just calculate all the scene entities and stuff and move them. But first we need to solve the problem of negative expansion. Well, yeah, expanding the size into negative position. So I think first we need to calculate the new size that is going to be. So let's do that. Let's say we have a new size, and so now here we know that, well, one of the position could be negative, and one could still be, like at least one of the position is negative, but the other position could still be positive. So we basically, what we want to do is, well, maybe we want to calculate new points, like new min and max. Like new min is going to be the minimum of grid position and 0. So that's the new min, right? Actually, this should be vector. Yeah. So this min will work in like a component-wise or element-wise way. So whatever, so it's basically looping through the vector. So first it takes x and checks, okay, is grid position less than 0? Then it takes the grid position. So let's say grid position is like -5 and 5 or something. -5, +5. So then the result will be -5, 0. Because -5 is less and 0 is less than 5. So that's our new minimum position, and the new maximum position is just maximum grid position and the old size, which is going to be time map document get grid size. So now we have our, well, actually this is also, I think max is, let's see, it's actually not max, it's like, well, I guess we could say -1 here. So that's the new max, and max is like inclusive. So if you have min is 0, 0, max is 1 and 1, then the size will be 2 by 2. So now we have that, and then new size is gonna be new max minus new min, and also +1. Okay, I think so. Let's say new max is 1, new min is 0, the difference will be 1, and the size should be 2, so we add 1. And yeah, that should work. Okay, so now we have our new size. So first what we do is we want to set, well, we need to set the size, so we do that. After we set the size, we now need to move the tiles in some direction. So move vector will be some kind of vector. I'm gonna set it undefined for now, but once we have calculated the move vector, what we can do is we can how did we do this? Was it like per layer? Let's check if we can just move things. I'm pretty sure there was a function for this. Maybe it's here. Okay, I'll just check. We have the selection tool. The selection tool already has, you know, a way to move tiles. So I'm just gonna check how we're doing it here. On use. Okay, yeah, the functionality, I guess, is in the tool itself. For example, here we have clone selected tiles, so you can get a floating layer out. And Right. So clone selected tiles is gonna create a new layer that has all of the stuff in it. We also have copy paste. So paste is taking. So that we could use maybe copy paste as well. Let's say copy paste. So floating layer. Alright, it depends on an actual floating layer. Or no, it has the copied layer. Oh yeah, so we have a copied layer in memory. And then we paste it on. Okay, so we make it into a floating layer, right? And that's all we're doing here. And then I guess we're merging the floating layer after that. But when we move a layer, let's see, on use, yeah, okay, so if we have a floating layer, pending section equals to no, selected tiles is selected. Yeah, it was a long time ago where when I was in here, so I have to like familiarize myself again. Because I know that we can, for example, we can select a thing, and then once we have a selection, we can hold Control Alt to move it around. I think we're creating basically a floating layer when we're doing that. Control. Yeah, here. So we're holding Control Alt. If we have things selected, we are moving and we are cloning the selected tiles, right, from the active layer. And if we have a floating layer, then we go in here. And this is where we like start to move the floating layer. And then on use end, that's like if you're moving, then we're just stopping the moving there. Let's see, but we should have. Why am I not getting like references correctly here? That's weird. Does it not know that this is a select tool? Yes, it does. Okay. Right, so I think this is like when we're dragging stuff. And this is where we stop dragging. I'm pretty sure if we click like outside of the selection, it's gonna merge it down. But I think, yeah, I was just looking for where we actually do the merge thing. Yeah, so we do it, I think this is like on end. Yeah. And then we do the merging layer. Yeah, I was thinking if we could like reuse functionality here, but let's see. I'm interested mostly in this now. So we clone the selected tiles, because then once we have that, we can just actually, it would be interesting to see now that we have a 2D array, will the selection stuff still work? And moving around and stuff like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure because we're using this function which already is upgraded, so it should still work. Okay, interesting. So let's try this. Yeah, so that still works. Okay. So what I'm thinking, what we need to do is clone the entire thing. Maybe before we set the size, we clone the entire thing. We need to generalize this function then. Or yeah, we need to, I'm gonna move this into time document itself. And yeah, we're gonna work with this select grid. Now the layer is gonna be interesting. I guess it could be like the active layer or something. All right. Wait. Oh. There we go. All right, so let's go back here. So now we can basically remove all this, and we can say, well, actually, you know what? Instead of adding it here, we're gonna add it to the layer instead. Alright. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now we can use that outside per layer instead. So basically we're cloning the tiles. Now we also want a way to, well, here we're merging the tiles. So basically taking a layer and putting it copying tiles from one layer to another layer. And in this case, the source layer is the floating layer, the target layer is the active layer. But basically want to do this, but we want to add it to here. Wait, not here. Here. And instead of merging floating layer, what we'll say is we'll say paste layer self is the layer, source is another layer. Okay, so active layer is self and this is the source. Okay, now this should just be the source grid size, right? We don't need this. Oh yeah, we also have an offset. Yeah, so we're pasting that, but then we also need an offset. And we don't need a time map. We can just grid out of bounds. We do need a select grid because we're checking if it's selected or not. Right. So actually instead of offset we're gonna add a select grid, I guess. Yeah, so the select grid enables you to basically, you have this rectangle, but then each cell in the rectangle can be toggled on or off, so it can be selected or not selected. So you can use that to paste just a portion of the rectangle if you want. Yeah, and that's if you just wanna, yeah, if you don't wanna erase the entire rectangle from the source. Or from, yeah, the target, I mean. So this should be good. Let's go in here, and now we can say get the active layer, and we'll paste the source is going to be self-floating layer, and the select grid is selected tiles. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, now we have the ability to do that from outside of this tool. All right, and basically now we can do a simple, well, no, actually we need to have, I was thinking if we wanna add like a move function, but we don't really want to have that right now, at least, because we don't want to move it instantly, because then we need to copy the layer first, then set the size. I guess we could technically copy the layer after we set the size and move it directly, but it's a bit unnecessary, because, well, then we have to calculate, okay, where was the previous position? Well, I guess it's not that difficult to do. But we can just clone it first. I think we still need to clone it and paste it anyway. So it's easier if we clone it before we change the size, so we know that we get the whole thing. And then we resize, and then we move it to the desired location. I guess we have to calculate the new location anyway. But yeah, so yeah, we have to copy and paste anyway. We can't just, you know, in memory move everything, because it's gonna overwrite itself. I guess it maybe depends on how you do it, maybe. Let's say you move it one down. You can start with the things at the end first, then you can just copy them down. That should be fine. But if you move up, then you have to start with the things that are at the top first. So yeah, it's just complicated. We already have the tools to do it right now, so. Okay. I'm curious about this clear source thing, how we want to do that, because that sort of kills off the original source. I guess we can do that when we, not when we copy first? Well, we do want to actually do that. We do want to, because we're clearing, yeah, because we're doing a move action. So we should clear the source. But we're copying it into the selection, into the new layer, and then we're pasting it on. Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's go back to here. Okay. Now we do need to calculate where we're gonna move, but here we need to have copied layer. Actually, this needs to happen for every layer. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I mean, yeah, we could just do. Let's do constants allocator. We're gonna allocate timeout layer. Because I'm pretty sure this. No, it just returns this, but that's fine. Okay, so I guess we'll do this. And the length is gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be the same as the number of layers. Okay, so now we have that. And we defer 3 on those. Okay, so now we just loop through these, and we need, well, as a pointer, so we can say copy layers, and we need an index I equals layer clone files. Oh yeah, we need a select grid as well. Well, let's just make one. Oh, we don't. Well, okay, so we're calling it select box. I'm not sure. It was very early on where this was done. I forgot what this was called. I want to have basically a convenience maybe for this, or no, here we select toggle, yeah, select region min max. Okay, so I'm just gonna do init and then select region. Minimum is gonna be 0, 0. Maximum is gonna be well, maximum, is that actual, is that inclusive or? Yeah, it adds 1. Okay, so it's inclusive. Good. So this is gonna be time at get size -1. Alright, so we're selecting the entire region of the old map, and then since we are going to move the thing, we're gonna clear the source as well here. Okay. Then we resize, and we're calculating the move vector. We need to do that actual calculation, but then we now can say layer paste layer, and the source is copied layers I. Yeah, we'll select grid. Okay. Right, so this should everything here should probably be like in an else, or we just return from here because we're done. Complete layers, we create a grid, we clone all the layers, we resize the time map, we need to calculate the move vector, and then we copy the thing, but before we do that we need to also set the offset to the move vector. So that's where we are gonna paste them in the new size. Yeah. So what is the move vector now? So let's say we move, let's say both are negative. So it's gonna be like, then basically it's gonna be 0, 0. We're moving them to 0, 0. No, wait, no, that's not correct. No, we're moving them, the new 0, 0 is the negative position. So we're gonna take the negative position and turning it into a positive position. That is where we are putting. If the negative position is 1, 1, or negative 1, negative 1, then the offset should be 1, 1. But if, let's say, we have negative 1, 1 as the position, then the size will resize to the same size. No, it won't. It will only resize to match negative 1, that's right. So it will increase in width by 1, let's say. But then we need to move it by 1, 0, so we don't move it by the y-axis. Okay, so basically every negative number in the grid position is turned into a positive number, and everything else is turned into a 0. So we're taking the absolute. Well, first we want to take any positive number is gonna be 0. How? What? Is there a mathematical thing for that? I mean, you have the sine function. You could do. I'm just trying to, out of curiosity. It's not really, we could just do make this a variable and set it to grid position, and then say if movie 0 is more than 0, set movie to 0, otherwise set movie to negative, or invert it, negate it. We could even do move 0 equals, if it's more than 0, we set it to 0, otherwise we set it to negative itself, and then we do the same thing for y. I was just thinking, oh yeah, so it's max or min. Wait, no, wait. I have it. It's first. It's to get it to from positive. Yeah, it's min. So grid position min 0. That's right. That was so easy. So if the value is positive, it's gonna take the minimum, so it goes down to 0. If it's negative, it's gonna take the negative. That's right. And then we take the absolute. So we turn negatives into positives. Is there like a negate? No. Okay. And I mean, I guess it's fine to call it move, or we can just set that directly. There we go. Okay. I think we can try it and see. Oh, mixed scalar. Oh. Expected. Oh, right. Wait, grid position. No, that's I32. Oh, but U. No, wait. What's happening? Found U32. Why is it finding U32? What? Oh, does this turn it into a U32? Or what? Okay, so I'll have to do a cost. Okay. But as long as, I mean, yeah, this should be fine. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so we can expand down there. Now let's try over here. Oh, we got a crash. Okay. Attempt to cast negative to unsigned. What? Oh. Okay, this shouldn't happen. Paint. Oh, okay, yeah. So, right, so we're painting outside. That means the grid position we're trying to paint to has a negative value. But then we do an expand. But then down here, the grid position should actually change now because it doesn't match the new size. We've changed the size of the grid, so we should actually change the grid position as well. Do we put a pointer? I guess we can do this. Make it mutable. Okay, so over here, if we do this, what we wanna also set this to what? Let's say we expand -1, -1. The new position should be 0, right? What about -1, 1? Then it should be 0, 2. No. It should be 0, 1, right? Because we're not changing the size of that. Okay, so basically it's the other way around. All the negatives are turned to zeros. Yeah. So it's gonna be max 0. So that turns all negatives to zeros. -1 is less than 0, so that will be 0. And the positives will stay the same. Yeah. Oh, but this is constant. Okay. It should probably change throughout. But here, like, okay, how does it make sense? Like, but we are actually not using. The thing is, if we're not using it afterwards, then it's fine. But here, like this, for example, this one is a bit tricky here. We're drawing a line. I think I'm gonna disable that for now until. Well, we're gonna have to try and fix this as well. That's gonna be a separate thing. But let's see. Where is on use? Right, the last thing that happens is the grip. So we don't really care about the grip position after this, unless we do anything here with it. Not really. Okay, so I think we need to do that. So we could also maybe return. Where it's been moved. Whatever. Let's just do it like this. But here now we need to like make a mutable version and use that. Oh. Okay, we're okay. Interesting. It works, but the whole thing moves. It moves the entire. Well, it doesn't move the camera. I guess it moves the time map, because. Interesting. Oh, we've got. Okay. Wow. We've got some memory leaks. Okay. That's a lot of memory leaks. It's in here, so it's gonna be where we're cloning all the layers and stuff. Yeah, we're never actually. We're cloning the tiles, we're pasting them in here. This doesn't take care of deleting the source. So what we will do is when we're done with when we're done with one layer, we can say deinitialize, no, copied layers. So we deinitialize that. Is that, and then also we need to deinitialize the list that we are doing that. Okay. Let's try that again and see if we get any leaks. Okay, we're there. Okay, we do get leaks. Oh, the select grid. Right. You also need to be deinitialized. Oops. Okay, I'll get rid of that. So, how do we want to do this? I think it's like, I mean, we could move the camera to negate that motion, I guess. I mean, it's just gonna be. We have the camera, and we change the target. It's gonna be. Is it the same as this or the same as this? So we're let's say wait, but how? Why is it moving? Okay, where is it moving? So it's basically the camera is still at the same position, but the grid position never changes. So we need to move it. We basically need to move the time up there so that this doesn't change, right? So if we paint here, it should move the camera the same amount that we're moving this down. Which would be this, except negative. Okay, we'll see. I mean, either it works or it doesn't. Oh man, this is... Wait. Oh, this needs to be float. No, float from... There we go. Okay, it works. Oh, but something... Wait, it crashed? Assume capacity. Set size. Wait, what? Get an edit. Okay, let's check this. So there's something wrong here with the set size. So basically, we have a tile map. It has a bunch of layers. Each layer has a 2D array of tiles. And when we set a new size on the entire tile map, we have to go through all the layers and set their respective sizes. And so right, new size is positive. And then we cast it here to U size so we can loop with it. We ensure the capacity of the rows to be the new size Y. Which one did it complain about? Down here. So it's down here that we're complaining. Is this calculation wrong then? If it's weird that it would randomly crash, to me it feels like it should crash like every time if there's something wrong here. Maybe not. We ensure total capacity. Okay, yes. Yes. If the new size is larger, which it always is in this case, it's either larger or equal. So then we calculate the new columns, which is, wait, what is the assertion here? Why am I? Oh, it doesn't understand what type it is. It's a row. It's actually an array list of tiles, not a tile. But the compiler knows it, but the LSP doesn't. For some reason, doesn't handle like nested array lists, like two-dimensional array lists. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that it's the... Well, let's do this. Let's do array list. Wait. No, append n times assume capacity. Is it this one? I mean, I guess it could be. So let's just check this. So new columns, is this correct? The new size minus the old size. Because new size is larger, so it should either be like, yeah, I mean, that should be... Let's see. Why would it? Okay, now all of a sudden it fails. That's so weird. It sort of... It's weird that the capacity would be the one that the thing that fails. It's the same thing here. That's the only assertion here, so... Okay. How can it fail? We're ensuring the total capacity here. So the total capacity should be set to a new size, okay? Wait, why is it... Oh yeah, it's X because Y is taken care of here, okay. So the capacity should be either equal to new size or larger than new size. Then we check if new size is larger than grid size. If it is, we calculate, okay, how much do we need to add here? We need to add new size negative minus grids the old size. So that's, let's say we add 1. So this should already be like the old size width, and then we add the new ones in here. That seems correct. Wait. Let's say we add... Okay. It's weird that it doesn't happen all the time. I think it's when you add both new rows and new... So we add a new row. We have to... Okay. We should initialize it with the old size. Not the new size, because then it's gonna get... But wait. Over here... Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do priv length. Yeah, let's do this instead. So we'll take the length of the array instead to match, because then it's yeah, if we add a new row here that has the full size, then we don't want to like append to that down here. So maybe we should do X first, actually. No, because then if we shrink it, okay, it doesn't really matter. It should be fixed now. Okay, cool. Wow, the time up can be pretty large. And it lags a lot when trying to do this because it moves the entire time map down. But okay, now we can paint wherever we want and it's gonna expand. Okay, cool. Now, how does it work with line drawing? It doesn't. Cool. Gonna need to make some food here soon. Okay, let's see if we can fix the line paint stuff. And we also need to move the entities, but I'll fix this first. Start and end. Right, so I think perhaps let's do this. Let's not have this as a mutable. Actually, what we'll do is we'll return the vector that you need to adjust it by instead. So at the end we will return move. And otherwise we're gonna return 0. Oh, that's a lot of. There we go. Okay, and then over here we're gonna do that. All right. And I think we'll do the same thing here. Actually, we'll turn a vector that has the new grid position. Wait, this is not grid position adjusted. This is the move thing. So it's move plus grid position. And then we return the move there. Okay. Now, we don't care here, we don't care about the return value. However, down here, we are. Okay, this is a bit tricky. It seems like there's a lot of things that should be updated here. Maybe it's better if we do a bulk calculation here instead. Let's do this. Let's do when we paint. Yeah, let's do handle auto expand on. Let's see. Like we calculate the start and end position. or we have both the start and end position. So what we want to do is we want to handle the start move and also the end move here, end position. Okay, so once we've done that, wait, but then end position needs to be modified. They're both modified by that. Now we always need to use the mutable versions. But from this point on, they shouldn't change. So everything here should be fine. I'm just checking if we're using start or end position anywhere here. Which we are, so let's take care of that. Okay, there we go. Let's see if that feels good. There we go. Start, yeah, and then we should do the same thing for end position as well. Not move. There we go. Right, and we don't care about these now because we know that we've already covered the cases. We're not gonna be auto expanding there. And yeah, this is return 0. Wait, where is this? Oh. Oh, we're not, yeah, we can just forget about this. I think. Okay, this might not be correct now because it's a bit different, I think. We'll see. Okay, that seems correct. Okay, there we go. Okay, that seems not correct. But we can start there, we can do this. But that, okay, why? Oh, I think, okay, I think I know why. It's like a bug in the line drawing algorithm. It's not, it's really super bad, actually, the line drawing. I mostly use it to like fill in like straight lines and stuff, but sometimes it just continues to go because it's like missing the end point. You can see here some angles just doesn't work. Yeah, so that's the issue there, but I'm not gonna worry about that. But yeah, now you can auto expand the time up here. Very cool. So another thing that we need to look for is if we go to the scene where this is happening, we have these entities here, And if we go back to the time map and we, for example, expand downwards a little bit, and we go back to the scene, you can see now everything is like offset here. So what I want to have also is every time the time map changes size, we want to also offset the entities to not move around like this. So basically, I think every time the time map changes, we have to basically find the scene that is referencing that time map. So we basically have to loop through all scenes to find that. Because we don't have backwards reference index yet. Maybe it's time to actually do that now, because that would enable other stuff to be easier as well. We could add a convenience function for now as well to do it really quickly. If we go to asset index, and we could basically add get scene referencing time map, and so we would need, well, let's have self and actually let's put this in context instead. I'll just put it directly here. Well, actually, let's put it here. So we need the time map ID. Okay, and then we'll return. We will return. I guess we can return the scene document maybe, or the ID. What do we need to do? I mean, we need the content and stuff. Well, let's just return the ID. Fine. And we might not find anything, so it should be nullable. All right. So, well, let's see. First, we need a project. Then we need the index, get IDs by document type. Document type is scenes, so we want to look for all the scenes. And we'll free this up, and there we go. And we'll loop through the scenes. And we will say we want to request the document. If we don't find it, well, if there's an error, return null. If we don't find it, well, actually, if it's an error, we continue. There we go. If we don't find it, we continue. Then we have now we have the scene document, and we do get entities, and we say if entity type, well, we switch on the type and we say if it's a time map, Yeah, and then we have then it's like we check if the time map ID is equal to the time map ID here. Then we return scene ID. At the end we return null. If we don't find it, okay. Alright, so now we can do that, but yeah, it's a bit much to find it. We basically have to open up all the scenes to look for the time where the time map is referenced, instead of just looking up in an index where you have, yeah, this ID is referenced by these IDs, so you can immediately find it. But yeah, that's gonna be for the future here. But at least now we have a function for it. So let's go back here and probably here then we wanna get that. And if we don't find it, well, actually, let's do if we find it, we get a scene ID. Yeah. Then we need to request a scene document. Catch. I mean, sure, let's just return. And then, or else, we also just return. Okay. I can't be bothered to figure out a good way to structure this right now. And then scene document, because I just want to get it working first and then figure it out later. So scene document, so let's say we have the scene document here. Well, here we have the scene document, and we want to basically loop through everything that is not the tile map. So scene document, get entities. Let's do this. This is a scene document here. So we get types. What? Oh. Okay, now it's a scene entity. Okay, so switch on entity type If it's a tile map, we don't want to do anything. We just continue. Else, we basically don't want to do anything with the inner type. We just want to adjust the position to the entity delta or entity move or something. So we need to calculate. Let's do it here. We need to calculate this somehow. Hello Polaris7, thank you. Have a nice day yourself. Whoops. Okay, so this is just a vector. Okay. Yeah, these are pixels, I think. Yeah. Wait. So we need to calculate the move somehow, but basically the algorithm is done here. What would be the move? Isn't it just move? Let's say we move the time up. Okay, so I need to draw a little bit here. We have GIMP. Okay, let's make a new. All right, so let's say we have a time map here. Now the center point is where I believe the scene will paint the time map like this. The position is 0, 0, which is the center point of the time map. And then you have a bunch of entities. Okay. So when you take this and we expand the tile map down, or yeah, we expand this down a little bit. Oops. Okay, whatever. And then the new center point, basically everything moves down with the new center point to the center here. Okay. So that means that this is like the new size that has changed. The vector of the middle part has basically moved down a little bit. Like basically it's moved down by half of this. So this, let's say this is a over 2. Okay. And everything is moved by this vector here. So it's basically the new size. But that's only for the positive direction. So let's say we have a negative direction. So let's say we increase upwards. Right. Now everything is moved up to match the center here. And you can see basically there's like no difference like this, because the entity or Entity positions are relative to the middle. However, now let's say we have some content in here as well. Let's say we have some tiles like this, and okay. Now this is also moved, let's say, to the middle here. Wait. No, wait. The tiles are not moved the same way. The tiles are actually at the bottom. That's right. These tiles are still basically in the same place, like this. So they're moved down. Okay. So you can see how it gets offset here. Now it's the same thing here, because this point, oops, let's make this different color. This point is the same as this point, and then but this point is now the same as this point. This is like the old top left. When you expand down, it stays the same. So all of this also stays the same. Basically in relation to if we match up the green thing, there we go. That's so when you expand down, you can see everything moves down. When you expand up, let's say by this much, everything moves up half of what you're moving up. So this went, the center point still went down, I guess. But these, the entities moves up. So let's say this is A, this is A over 2. Yeah. So how would we fix this? Well, it looks like whenever A is, well, if A is moving the same, the entities are moving the same direction as the expansion of the tile map. So we basically just have to offset them by half of that expansion negated, I think. Let's try that. So the expansion is gonna be is going to be, let's see, new size. I mean, we can take new max. Wait, new max. Oh, new max minus new min. But the old size, but the size difference, size, delta size is gonna be new size is gonna be that. All right, that's the delta size in grid, in like grid coordinates. And so how do we calculate this? Because this is in pixel coordinates. So I'm just gonna do a test here first. So let's do delta size times the tile size, which we should have, right? Oops. Yeah. And then we have to divide it by 2. And we also need to negate it, so let's just put a negative somewhere. Okay. Alright, so if we get something else here, we just continue. Optional, oh. Okay. Let's try this. Right. So everything is aligned perfectly here. Now we go over here and we expand a little bit. Then we go back. Oh, we can see it's not actually correct. Okay. So let's try, well, let's try to do this. Let's expand once up there. Everything moved up. Okay. If we expand just in one direction. Wait. Oh, because when we undo, we actually don't. Okay, this is a little bit weird now because we're editing another thing. Maybe we should only do it like when you actually press save or something. It like, oh, the grid size has changed. Do you want to update the scene to? Yeah, maybe. Because the thing is, when you undo, it doesn't actually undo the thing you did to the scene. So let's just avoid using undo. But if we move down, everything moves down. I can imagine that the thing is, the new size is over here. So the new center point is like moved down a little bit. But then everything moved down as well. What if we do the other way around? What if we don't negate it? Oops. I thought we had to negate it, but let's see. And still, there's like no difference. Okay, do I have to scale it? It might be I have to scale it by 4, which is the standard that I'm using here. Okay. Well, let's try and negate it again. Man, why isn't it working? It seems like it sort of works. It's sort of negating. Well, now they're the same position. Okay, so they basically don't move. Is that what I'm supposed to take from this? It's not, they don't actually move at all. Okay, now they moved. Huh. Wait. Oh, so they only move. Oh, I see. Okay, let's do this then. Let's put this in a separate function called move scene entities. So update scene entities position. Okay. Need to calculate this. Alright, so now we're doing it both when expanding downwards, but also negative. Move the... Oh. Now we can just return. Okay, let's try expanding down. Okay, now everything moved up a suspicious amount of. So let's look at this. Everything moved up. Yeah. So we may not need to scale. Let's remove the scale. Actually, you know what? I think we're losing the positioning here, because we're only thinking about the new size in terms of how much larger it is than the old size. So it's always going to be positive. So this actually doesn't really work. Let's just see, like if we expand down, does it stay the same? Yes. Okay, so it works for expanding down because that's positive, and expanding over here. Okay, cool. They stay the same. Nice. But then if you expand up, I think it's gonna break. Yeah, now you see everything is weird because we're not thinking about, we're not calculating like the direction of the expansion. We only have like the absolute change. So yeah, we need a better way of representing this. What would the actual like expansion vector, let's call it. What would that be? So, you know, for this one, it should just be the delta size. That's fine. But down here, what would the expansion be? So it's not just the delta size. It's gonna be times the sign of grid position, I think. Except if they are 0. Well, if they're 0, then it's also like gonna be 0 in that. So if the grid position is positive, that means it's just gonna be 1 1. So it's like an identity operation. It's only the same. But if it's negative, then it's gonna flip to the negative for that dimension. If it's 0, that means the delta is 0, so that should be fine as well. So let's try this. Oh, there's no sign. What about this? Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, let's try this. If it works, I'm gonna take a little break, make some food, and I'll be back afterwards. Let's see. Yeah, this still works. I'm gonna do this. This still works. Okay, cool. So now we can expand it however much we want. The entities are gonna stay in the same position. Alright, nice. Now the only thing you need to be careful of is like unsaved changes, and if you undo the operation, it's not gonna work. So I'm just gonna put that down as a bug, but this is actually really nice. It works. Let's put bugs at the end. Yeah, this is gonna be like a merge conflict. Let's do this first. I did some readme changes. There we go. Okay, let's do when an auto expanding time map, and then I'm doing the scene entities positions are not undone. I'm just gonna keep it like that. Okay, so that's a thing. Okay, I could also add a bug for the line. Painting a line sometimes. The line will keep going to the edge of the time map. Okay. Alright, but yeah, it works. I'm gonna cross that off here somewhere. Time map editor. Setting, yeah, this one is done. And yeah, awesome. Cool. So great. Now we have this auto expansion thing. So it's gonna be a lot nicer to draw the time maps now. If you just want to add, yeah, I just want to add, you know, a little bit to the end, and you don't have to. It's not gonna. What is it? Yeah, whatever. So anyway, I need to take a break, and so I need to eat some food. I need to take care of some things. So let's. But I'll be back after lunch. So yeah, I'll stop the stream here and I'll continue after. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.